Hi everybody, we are at San Diego Comic Con and today we are very happy. I am very happy as you know me a little bit. I am here with Scotia Boyd, who is the makeup artist on season 2 of Strange New World. She worked with Yetide Badaki. Go watch our interview of Yetide Badaki that Julian did last year. Jess Bush, Paul Wesley, Martin Quinn, and today we're going to talk a little bit of what is it that a makeup artist does on Star Trek and how is that work in the industry right now. Thank you so much for being with us, Scotia.
Thank you so much for having me. This is amazing. This is my first time at San Diego Comic Con, and it is insane.
It is
in such a good way. San Diego is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then just driving up, you see on the side of the buildings, like these high-rise buildings, all the advertisements. There's a huge Star Trek Strange New World.
Yes.
Like, massive.
This is tradition. There's always on the Marriott a giant Star Trek one. I live in San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is, I always say that this is Christmas. We all get very stressed before it, and then during it we're having so much fun, and after it we need to rest.
Yeah, makes sense.
So you're Canadian, and I wanted to give a shout out to our co-hosts who are right now in Canada. We're in Toronto. There's so many people working on Star Trek right now who are Canadian.
Yes,
Yeah.
multiple Star Treks. I know they filmed Discovery first. The first Star Trek that I ever worked on was Star Trek Discovery. And then in like a very, the way that I got in initially was actually as prosthetics, like cleanup, like removing prosthetics at the
Wow.
end of the day. And like it was insane. Of course there was the department head, James McKinnon, but all of the makeup artists that he brought in, he had a team of like 16 makeup artists that he flew in, as well
Wow.
as all of the prosthetics artists in town in Toronto. And the people that he brought out were like legendary.
Yeah, I
So it
was
really cool.
very lucky. I actually got my makeup and prosthetic done by James McKinnon during Star Trek Day.
Wow.
And it is one of the highlights of my life.
That's epic.
We also interviewed him, right? Yeah.
One of the makeups that you like would take apart at the end, was that like Arium, for example?
It was the first episode of season 1, and it was like
wow.
pulling on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of Klingons on episode 1.
Yes.
You worked before that on indie film, you were saying, horror film. You also worked on Letterkenny, I saw.
I worked on Letterkenny. Yeah.
Incredible. And also on different sci-fi franchise like Titans, I saw. Yeah, so Strange New World being part of Star Trek. Star Trek has a long legacy of, makeup and costuming. So how does one design makeups for Star Trek? How do you decide of how they're going to look like? Are you attached to, for example, canons and how they look like in other series, or is it free reign? How does a makeup artist work on Star Trek?
So the department head, Olga Kirnos, would have meetings with the producers and the showrunner, and those conversations that she was a part of were very much what is canon, what has to be canon, what doesn't have to be canon. Mm-hmm. I do believe that once it came through to her and to us in designing our individual characters, and she really it's such a big show, so she gave us our characters that we would look after for the season. Mm-hmm. And we did have a lot of creative freedom, I think. Yeah, sometimes we were drawing on inspiration. I know that Olga had all of the books, all of the different Star Treks, so that we could reference certain like races, different aliens, what the different planets were. And so that was definitely a part of it. And then, it's like, for example, Yetide Badaki, there was this very specific world that she existed in.
Yes.
Very angular. So we got that coming from Olga. Like, we wanted a lot of winged eyeliner. And then when it came to us, like Andrea and I, that are makeup artists on the show, we got to have fun with, what color, like, color and what angle, and we just play around the gloss. That's what I would say. Yeah, a good mix. We definitely didn't have to stick exactly to a certain look from the past.
And so I suppose that the makeup is also designed to match the costumes. That yes. So do you see the costume first and then draw inspiration from that?
Yeah, so they start that process quite a bit ahead of us in the makeup department, because a lot of the times, like those costumes are, well, I think for Star Trek, they are always custom made.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then even so, then before they start creating the costume, we get to see the concept art from the costume department, which is
Okay.
really cool. We get, and even like when you see the concept art, we're not stuck to this, but whoever's designing it, like they kind of add, what they think then the hair and makeup would look like.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah.
How it's going to be cohesive, what they're making is definitely very much a collaboration. Like all of the departments have to work together.
And so you also worked with men because everybody wears makeup.
Yes.
Everybody wears makeup.
Absolutely.
And how do you make sure that everything looks flawless, especially right now with HD? You know that we're gonna see every single pore, every single thing. So how is that now working on Star Trek that has like such high resolution, like all those colors, all those like air walls, for example? How does that affect how you're working on the makeup, for example?
You just have to it needs to always be perfect.
Flawless all the time.
We have different techniques. We're always learning new things. It's just such a talented department, so we're learning from each other. Andrea and Olga, and now they've added a still team. I know Julia Farmason is there, and we just have to make it flawless. Use like very, very lightweight products, and then also what is super important is the lighting in the trailer.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we use daylight. We use the makeup light, and then if it looks perfect under this like daylight setting, then you know that whatever lighting they take it into on set, you're not going to get like, oh, I didn't see that in the trailer.
Yeah, that was one of the points that Bernadette was talking about when making the costume is the color of the costume on camera very often fluctuates.
So we could always do tests.
Yeah, or
Bring them
camera
into the
tests.
set. Yeah.
Okay, and you also work with many different, skin color and skin texture and, faces in general. So how was it in Star Trek, especially where there's such a diversity of actors, to be able to, go from all these different faces all the time?
Just you have to be like well-rounded and well-educated, I think, to be able to work on all skin tones for sure. I think as a makeup artist, going onto any show, you need to make sure that you have that knowledge before.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I noticed in my lifetime is how much more, good products you have for like darker skins, for example. That was not the case when I was younger. Or even how now, Yeti de Baraki, looks gorgeous all the time.
Oh yeah, I know.
Just looks always flawless, yeah.
Makeup, skin, I've never seen smoother skin than you do.
So you worked on season 2. Is there a moment on that season that makeup made all the difference in your opinion, or like where an episode where you really, really enjoyed working on the makeup?
I gotta say, Star Trek is hands down the best show that I've ever worked on. It was for so many reasons. Like, first of all, this is not most important. I should say first of all, but it's very important. It films in Canada, and we never had to stand outside in the winter. It was like everything was in space, so we were always in the studio, and like working on the Enterprise, and that was really amazing to be on those sets and not out in the elements, because it was not set on Minute Earth. Except that one episode that was really cool. They were in Toronto in the show. So
tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah, but every single episode there was some new cool character to design. Like, how do you take the elements from whatever world they're in? Yeah, so much creativity, and then the team, like the makeup department, phenomenal, like so just such good leadership and kindness and Olga just really let us like be creative and then the whole I mean all the cast and the whole crew like is one of the friendliest sets that I've ever worked on. So I would say there were a lot of moments.
The whole season.
Yeah. And now I'm seeing this season that just came out.
Yes.
Like, whoa, they got to have so much fun. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's we get to see the episode a little bit early, and
Oh wow.
there is a lot of great costuming. There's a lot of great makeups. So, for our audience who loves Star Trek and has watched a lot of Star Trek, very often we like to see a little bit how people working around the set, what is, the work that you do, because we hope that it would maybe inspire people to go do this. So what is a day like for a makeup artist on the set of Star Trek, for example? Do you start very early? Oh yeah?
Yeah, I've had my alarm. No, I will. Yeah. So again, because we're in studio, it's like a little bit nicer. We're not dependent on the sunlight outside. But I'm definitely just working in the industry. I've had my alarm set before at 1 a.m., midnight. Like if you're doing a big prosthetics, they have 4-hour, 5-hour makeup. But typically on Star Trek for the makeup team, we would have 3-hour pre-calls before. So we're getting the cast, where we go in before the cast, set up for the cast, then the cast come in. And then after that, 2 or 3-hour pre-call, then the crew comes in, lighting, camera, everybody else comes in. So then we start our work, and that's like a 12-hour day.
Yes.
And then we help them get cleaned up at the end of the day and then go home. So it's like usually a 15-hour day. So be prepared for that. But at a different, depending on what stage you're at in your life, like I just mentioned this in the panel, when I was starting out in filming television, I was super young. And I didn't want to be anywhere else. I wanted to be on set all the time, and same with on Star Trek. It was the favorite part of my life. So I did not mind that. And when you're walking around and everything's just so inspiring and epic, and
TV is magical.
Yeah.
Just walking on sets, or even seeing when the music is made is something that is wow.
all the different parts
Yes.
that go into it. Yeah.
So we were talking about Yeride Baraki, how you make, beauty makeup, let's call it. But also, do you do casualty makeup, for example, like scraps and bruises, all this?
I gotta say, that was definitely one of the most fun that I've had, was doing the Jess or Nurse Chapel looks, where she's all in the first episode, they get into a pretty big Klingon fight.
Yes.
And so she has, I love doing these, beautiful lip cuts everywhere. And then it was a lot of fun to track the continuity.
Okay.
Because they're getting into this huge fight. She's getting all these little nicks and she's bleeding. And then they get launched out into space. And then come back. And so it's all that blood is now frozen.
Okay.
And of course, and then we see her after she's starting to heal. But these are all filmed on completely different days. So it's I love that stuff. And then again, we had her near the end of the season. She was there for an explosion. So again, she saw this black soot on her, and then some funny cuts.
Are you yourself a Trekkie? Do you like Star Trek?
I do like
You
Star
do?
Trek. I would not say that I'm a Trekkie. There are lots of, but I became a Trekkie working on that show.
Yeah.
Reading the scripts, for some reason it felt like every time we got a new episode, because we don't get the scripts for the new show, we would get to read them one episode at a time as we were getting ready to shoot it. And I just felt like it resonated so much as we move through the season and I'm reading the new episodes. I'm like, wow, this really applies to my life right now.
Interesting.
And I was just very proud to be on a show like that. I think that Star Trek is a very good, positive show for the world, honestly. And if that's not always the case when you're working in film and television, there's a lot of negativity out there, and so it felt very good to be to be a part of that.
Utopia.
Yeah.
And now you're a recipient of the Peabody also. Everybody received the Peabody Award who worked on Star Trek, you know that?
Yeah, see? Yeah.
So, what is next for you? What are you doing right now? Which can you tell us, or is it secret?
So one I know for sure is coming out in September, and which is Co 3, and that is going to be released in theaters on September 12th. And then Getaway, it's finished, so it will be coming out sometime.
Great. Well, thank you so much for talking with us. I have to say that I've always loved makeup, especially in Star Trek.
Your makeup is amazing.
Thank you.
Walk onto set, seriously.
I love the 60s, you know, like pink wings and all, like in the original stories, you know, all those like crazy eyeliners and these, you know, vision of a future that we could go in, the richer future. So I'm really happy that I got to meet you and talk to you, and
Me too.
I hope it will inspire people to keep an eye open for everything that happens on the face of the actors.
Details,
And I wish you good luck with the next step in your makeup artistry.
Thank you so much. So lovely. Thank you. So
Thank
much
you.
for having me.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.